Hello, BookTube, how are you doing? I haven't had that much time lately to make any BookTube videos, and if I happen to have some time, I usually would rather spend that time doing something more interesting. Anyway, I have gathered just enough willpower to make a video for you, and this is going to be something of a mid-month wrap-up or recent reads kind of video, discussing some of the books I've read during the earlier part of July. And without further ado, let's get cracking. The first book you've already seen in my mid-year book freakout tag. I nominated this one as the most disappointing read of the year so far. So this is Kätilö, or The Midwife, by Katja Kettu. And this is a love story between a Finnish midwife and a German soldier during Second World War, more specifically during the Lapland War. And while I found the love story interesting and engaging, and the writing very evocative, vivid and lush, and all of those adjectives, I thought that the structure, which was told in diary entries, I thought the structure was too much all over the place and jumping back and forth between time and all that. It didn't really serve the story. This would have benefited from a more straightforward narrative, and then it would have been, a more effective read, in my opinion. And also, there were just too many badly written sex scenes that, the story could have, done without them. And then I did a buddy read with Kit from Kit's World, and we buddy read the glare. You can't really see that. No, where to point this thing. Anyway, The Mating Habits of Mating Habits of Stags by Ray Robinson. And I will leave a link down below for Kit's channel. We did a collaborative review video about this book, and so I'm not going to talk too much about it here. Just going to say that I loved the buddy reading experience, but I didn't like the book so much. But that's the great thing about buddy reads. Like, even though you might end up disliking or even hating the book, the experience of reading a book together with someone is really amazing. And although this one wasn't particularly successful a book, the experience was excellent. And then I read some Russian history. We have put in correct order. First I read the Romanovs, or the Romanovs, the Final Chapter, by Robert K. Massie, translated into Finnish from English by Kaarina Turtia. And after that I read The Last Czar by Edvard Radzinski, translated into Finnish from Russian by Kari Klemelä. So this one focused solely on the Romanovs, and here we have the Tsar Nikolai II and his family. And this book is basically about them. I thought this was rather dry, and while I found it very informative, I think it dwelled too much on, for example, the matter of bones, like are these really Romanovs' bones, and then there was lots of fighting and arguing between the scientists and who gets to say the final word about the bones, and then there were some TV companies or whatever trying to buy the rights to the story and whatever, and I found all of that a bit tedious. Like, maybe I was expecting more about the history of the Romanovs and tell more about, these individual people here in the family, but rather it was borderline, what's the word, conspiracy theory kind of stuff that I know that you Americans out there love, but yeah, it didn't really work for me, and in a lot of ways this also felt like scrap material from his previous book or something. Like I think he had written Nikolai and Alexandra before this, and this felt like it was compiled out of leftover material or something. So yeah, if you're interested in Romanovs and want to find everything there is about Romanovs, then perhaps you might enjoy this, but I would perhaps go for something else. So yeah, after that I read The Last Czar by Edvard Radzinski, and this was more engagingly written, and this used a lot of samples from Nikolai's own diary, so we got to sort of got a view inside his head, and also his letter exchange. Let's say his letter exchange with his wife Alexandra, and that was also quite lovely to follow. And I think this book did an excellent job portraying Nikolai II, as this too nice, too weak leader who was sort of way too nice to be in that kind of position, and basically he just wanted to live in peace and walk in the forest or something and spend time with his family, and instead he had to do all kinds of serious decisions and go into war and rule the country and all of that. And yeah, Nikolai II has, and his family has, all my sympathies. And yeah, there were some moments in this book where I think Radzinski inserted too much of himself in the narrative and asked some questions and tried to make it try to make the reader sort of ask questions and all of that, which I thought was kind of nice, but it kind of jarred the reading experience perhaps a bit. But yeah, this one I would highly recommend if you're interested in Russian history. So The Last Tsar by Edvard Radzinski. I'm not sure if this is translated into English actually, but I would suspect it is. And after that, I read something totally different. The Wolves of Willoughby Chase by Joan Aiken. And so yeah, this is a children's story, and focus is around two children, Sylvie and Bonnie. Names didn't really stuck in my head, and one of them, I think it was Bonnie, has grown in sort of richness and opulence, and he's more of a upper class kid, but also very wild and unruly in a way. Whereas the other child, Sylvie, comes from more modest background. She lived in poverty with her aunt or something, and yeah, and anyway, they Sylvie, the poor girl, travels to spend some time with her cousin, the rich Bonnie, and then Bonnie's parents, they need to travel away for something, and then one woman whose name I can't remember, Miss Slycarp, comes to sort of take care of the house or manor or whatever you could call that, and yeah, she is rather evil and has some evil plans in her mind. Basically, she tries to take over the whole estate and their possessions, and yeah, then the children just need to survive against this evil. And yeah, I guess if I had read this at a younger age, I would have enjoyed this a lot more. Like, I did like the reading experience. It was nice quick read. And yeah, quite well written as well. There's some nice alliteration and nice use of words. I think I wrote down some interesting words. Yeah, harum scarum, Pelis, Harridan, Posset, Hoydenish, something like that. And but yeah, I thought way too simplistic. Like, well, what can you expect from children's stories? But yeah, very evident good versus evil kind of story, and some plot points that were just all too convenient. For example, the parents arriving at just the right moment, and basically a nice, well-written children's book. Nothing exceptionally good to write home about. And I also expected more wolves from the story. I mean, on the title, The Wolves of Willoughby Chase, and there's like one wolf featured in the story, and he gets killed. And then there are some wolves howling in the distance, more adding to the atmosphere. So I guess it's more referring to evil Miss Slightcarp, who is coming to take over the house. Like, she and her assistant, they have come to take over the house. They are the wolves. But yeah, I wanted more real wolves. And yeah, I have a real problem with too convenient plot holes. Like, that was my main issue with, for example, Jane Eyre. There was some very stupid plot holes. Or not plot holes, but plot points. Yeah, children's book for adults, in my opinion. But yeah, this was children's book for children, and quite a good one, but not exceptional. Would read once, but yeah, not gonna keep it. Was not it? Yeah. That's more or less my first half of the month, and I've already finished 2 more books, and I'm currently making my way through the third one as Dr. Zhivago, and those will be featured in my end of the month wrap up, whatever I'm going to call that. Anyway, yeah, I hope I get my mojo back and be able to make more videos in the future, but yeah, there's just so much more interesting stuff to do than make videos. Anyway, that's all for this time. I hope you're doing well, and back to my bookie activities, and see you soon.